Here are 15 instances in which Meghan Markle was caught lying live on television without showing any sorrow or shame. Make sure to stay until the very end, because number 9 will leave you stunned. The pre-wedding ceremony in secret. Meghan made the decision to say that she and Harry were secretly married prior to their official royal wedding in an effort to make her royal love story appear like a fairy tale. "We got married 3 days prior to our wedding, you know." She said they had a private ceremony in their garden with the Archbishop of Canterbury. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry exchanged vows before to their 2018 wedding at Windsor Castle. Days prior to the royal wedding, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex formally tied the knot at home, according to their CBS interview with Oprah Winfrey. To make things formal a bit sooner, Meghan told Oprah, they contacted the Archbishop of Canterbury, who presided over their broadcast ceremony. However, when the official wedding certificate revealed that their marriage took place in May 2018, that story abruptly came to an end. Not earlier. Such a ceremony would have been unlawful, according to the Archbishop himself. Where then did Meghan find this tale? What made her believe that anyone would believe it? And that's only the start. Let's go on. The claim for the confiscated passport. Meghan made it seem as though she was stuck and unable to leave when she stated in the Oprah interview that the royals had confiscated her passport. You'll remember how Meghan Markle essentially claimed in her Oprah interview that she'd been locked and invisible for 2 months without moving. More significantly, one of her documents, her personal passport, had been confiscated. The receipts, however, contradict this. She took 13 excursions during that time, including solo trips to New York and Toronto, as well as group vacations to Ibiza and Amsterdam. Meghan said she didn't have a passport and never traveled. We are now all aware of her schedule and the fact that she did make several travels during the time she claimed to be captive. Someone is lying somewhere along the line. Without a passport, how precisely can one traverse the world? Perhaps she believed that because she was royal, immigration simply waved her through. No assistance with suicidal thoughts, Meghan made yet another tearful plea, claiming that she had to go to the HR department after the royal family disregarded her request for assistance with suicidal thoughts. However, this doesn't add up quite a bit. Harry himself got help and went to therapy. Meghan also had access to her own therapist and Diana's confidant, Julia Samuel. She did receive support, according to reports, but the royals came seen as callous by manipulating that story. Numerous medical professionals are unsure about who can provide assistance. Harry continued to receive mental health care. Why did he not take action? He was embarrassed. I'm grateful, Harry, but when she became pregnant, she was almost 40. Additionally, women of that age must see their obstetrician every 3 or 4 weeks in the UK. The obstetrician should have asked how she was feeling. Dear madam, or anything like, so why didn't she say that? And she had the option to say so, therefore this is clearly, although it's not the palace's fault, I'm not claiming she wasn't depressed. She wept because of Kate. In her chat with Oprah, Meghan alleged that during a bridesmaid dress fitting, Kate Middleton brought her to tears. It truly wounded my sentiments and brought me to tears. And I reasoned that it didn't make sense, given everything else that was happening in the days preceding the wedding. Royal insiders, however, claim that it was the other way around. The good-hearted Kate nevertheless apologized to Meghan after she made her weep. According to reports, Kate Middleton is embarrassed by, according to a royal specialist, Meghan made Meghan Markle weep during a wedding fight. And despite her sadness and disappointment, she fabricated the narrative to make herself appear like the victim. It wasn't a sincere PR ploy, but it was a smart one. Without a clue concerning Harry and the royal family, this one is simply amazing. Meghan claimed that she never looked up Harry on Google or studied the royal family, therefore she had no idea who he was. She even asserted that she merely inquired about his niceness. I knew very little concerning him. Therefore, when she stated that she intended to set us up, I just asked her one question. Well, is he nice? I asked. Because it didn't seem like it would make sense if he wasn't kind. However, her longtime friend, Naki Pretty, disclosed that Meghan had a long-standing obsession with Princess Diana and the royal family. Even pictures of her posing in front of Buckingham Palace as a teenager can be found. So naive. The royal family hasn't exactly been quiet. Meghan claimed that the firm had silenced her, preventing her from speaking or acting freely. I don't see how they could believe that if the firm is actively involved in spreading lies, we would still remain silent after all this time. Nevertheless, she made 73 official appearances, sat for interviews with the BBC and ITV, and guest-edited British Vogue. She even accompanied the Queen on royal missions. Silenced appears more like highlighted for me. Absence of royal training. Although records indicate that all entering royals had formal instruction, Meghan implied in one interview that she was thrust into royal life without any training at all, not even on how to curtsy or observe royal etiquette. Meghan received instruction on all aspects of royal protocol from an etiquette expert. Meghan's statements and her etiquette coach have now stunned the coach. She had an etiquette coach, something I was unaware of, and before she saw the Queen, they showed her the ropes. He reminds out that she wasted a fantastic chance to join the royal family, so they're not exactly thrilled. Cost Harry his chance to be a true member of the family, but he also taught her everything she said she didn't know. The coach's assertions here run counter to Meghan's. Meghan was merely promoting the outsider myth by denying that. Lack of security inequitably. According to Meghan, their security was taken away. Unjustly when they retreated as working royals, but she was fully aware of how it operated. They were no longer entitled to taxpayer-funded security when they left their royal duties. Not at all. As is well known, she has said a great deal of bullshit. They were protected, and they would remain protected if they continued to perform the duties of senior royal family members. They were allowed to hire their own guards, and they did so. This is unjust. It was merely another attempt to win sympathy. The Archie's nursery fire dramatic storytelling was elevated to a new level in this one. According to Meghan, there was no smoke detector in Archie's nursery when a heater caught fire when they were on tour in South Africa. According to her, the nursery's heater caught fire. No smoke detector was present. Down the hallway, someone chanced to smell smoke. In, and the fire went out. It was meant to be his sleeping quarters. In any case, she had to leave Archie and carry on with her royal responsibilities. The Duchess claims that she and Prince Harry were compelled to attend another formal royal engagement after the fire, although there is no documentation or reliable account of this happening. Her story sounds totally untrue because there were no fire reports. The media didn't tell her father's story. She said that in order to ruin her wedding, the Daily Mail had concealed the paparazzi photo incident involving her father, Thomas Markle, because they wanted to generate drama. The tabloids, who had reportedly known for a month or so, chose to wait until the Sunday before our wedding. The Daily Mail promptly replied, stating that they postponed publication solely to confirm facts, as is customary in journalism. It was entirely coincidence. Once more, the story she told did not fit the facts. Prohibited from having lunch with friends, she said that while she was a royal, she was not allowed to go out or see friends, but paparazzi pictures depict her going on private outings and shopping casually at Whole Foods. She allegedly isolated herself, according to royal sources. Every day, I would go grocery shopping. I miss grocery shopping a lot, even though I use Instacart a lot. In order to evoke strong feelings in the public, she embellished her prison story. The TV purchases were unexpected. Meghan claimed that after leaving royal life, their Netflix and Spotify deals just happened to fall into their laps without any prior planning. However, that is not at all accurate. According to reports, Harry and Meghan had discussions with media businesses such as Netflix and Quibi as early as 2019, long before they formally left. In the same year, they even submitted trademark applications for Sussex Royal. Those transactions were far from impromptu. The pantyhose nude myth. She once expressed dissatisfaction over being required by royal tradition to wear nude pantyhose that were too dark for her skin tone, implying exclusion. I was forced to constantly wear nude pantyhose. To be honest, that wasn't particularly myself. Since the 1980s, when they first appeared in The Little Egg, I had not seen pantyhose. That was a ridiculous example, but it felt a little out of place. However, it is an illustration of the freedom to wear however you like. Later on, though, she marketed comparable hues under her own name. It turns out that her own product line included the exact exclusive tones she condemned. That is, hypocrisy in high fashion. Archie's title and allegation of racism. Meghan asserted in the Oprah interview that the royals declined to create. They were concerned about how dark Archie's complexion may be during those months when I was pregnant, so they gave him a royal. Thus we are discussing simultaneously that he will not be granted security. In addition to not being given a title, there will be discussions and worries about how black his skin may be at birth. That is untrue. It had nothing to do with his race. The regulations were to blame. Archie was just ineligible for such title when it was issued. Prince Charles, his grandpa, was not yet king. Additionally, only the monarch's male-line grandchildren are immediately made princes or princesses per the 1917 letters patent. Therefore, Archie received his title when Charles finally ascended to the throne, not because anyone had second thoughts, but because that is how the rulebook operates. I had no intention